Good morning. It's such a privilege to be here with all of you today, to be able to share my experiences. You are our hope and you are our future. So, it's really an honor to be able to share one's experiences with all of you. So today I'm going to talk about my own journey, where I am today and how it all started. So I'll share some insights and also the learnings as I moved along all these years. So when I was in school, I had a lot of interest towards engineering, mathematics and science, and wanted to be engineer. So it was a goal that I lived for, strived for and worked for. And when I appeared during those days, there weren't as many engineering entrance exams other than for IITs. Institutions, and the grades in grade 12 would determine where the admission would happen. And as I appeared for the exams and gave the interviews at several places, I missed the admission to an engineering institution by just a couple of marks. And that was at Punjab Engineering College. And the admission that I was getting was in far off state, and my parents were not willing to let me go there. So, so the next step was, what do? I wanted to be an engineer. Here I was trying to get an admission, and there was, the circumstances were such that I couldn't have pursued engineering. So the next best option was to apply for the physics programs where specialization in electronics could be an option. So I applied at Punjab University, Chandigarh, and got into a 4-year integrated program that contributed to the masters in physics. Over the 4 years, it was a journey that that revealed that what it takes to become a scientist. If you were to take a career path in research or be associated with the defense organization, what kind of roles would be there. And as I was studying, I discovered that maybe I wouldn't have enjoyed those roles, or I wouldn't have spent the next 20-30 years of my work life just working in a lab and doing those experiments and doing research in those areas. So I tried to prepare for management exams and then got through an MBA in Udaipur. Again, it was all through entrance exams, and we couldn't choose the place where we wanted to do the MBA program. And those 2 years were a turning point. I enjoyed the course immensely. It was about, unleashing my creativity, talking on the stage, interacting with the corporate bodies, and rediscovering myself. And when I started my career in a sales role in one of the IT companies during the initial years, in 6 months I felt that I was overqualified for the job that I was doing. So here was an MBA with gold medalists, lot of hard work, and stepping into the world of work, I discovered that maybe this is not where my heart lies, and I should probably switch over to academics. So I got married, and then when I started my PhD at IIT Delhi in the area of entrepreneurship and management. And from there the real journey began. I loved academics, I loved doing research in that area, and over the years, after graduating from IIT Delhi, started my academic career. And when this academic career began, it was a phenomenal interaction with the students. So whatever I was teaching across multiple disciplines got converted into writing. So my writing journey also began, and I published large number of papers which were published in international journals, lot of international conferences, and the idea was to take my knowledge beyond the 4 walls of an institute and empower the larger community. So from there on, there was this opportunity to do a postdoc on sustainable technologies. So beyond the realm of profitability and corporate performance, which is just measured on numbers or a larger impact needed to be thought through, how our work can influence civil societies, how we need to take a long-term view of life, and how we could make a contribution. So in my early years of academic life, so there were faculty who were young, who wanted to have a career. So it was about providing thought leadership to the faculty to publish, to write, to pursue PhDs, and to write books. And I worked and created forums for them, led from the front. So there was a lot of inclination towards doing work in services industry. As you know, the GDP of most of the largest economies is driven by the services industry. It's about people, it's about processes, and it's about excellence. So we started a journal called Journal of Services Research, wherein we had some of the finest minds from the global universities who participated. They were on the editorial board. Now to bring the journal and have issue after issue coming in, so we conceptualized global conferences on services. So from a journal to global conferences where we had partnership from Oxford Brookes, from Penn State University, from multiple other universities, and we tried to create a global community. So as an academic, from just teaching one batch, to influencing the institute, to influencing the community in India, and also getting them connected to the global world as well. So here, so it was about 10 to 12 years had passed. There were 7 books, 100 papers, and I was reflecting that in all these years, even if in the 10 years ahead, I would write 5 more books, 10 more conferences, where would all this lead to? So there was an urge to do something very different from what I was. So there was an opportunity with HP Labs, and I applied for it. I was an academic, and yet this was about technology evangelism and working with HP Lab researchers, fostering technology communities. So in those days, cloud computing was just coming up. Human-computer interface was just coming up, and the researchers wanted to network with academic community who was doing work in this area. So it was a fascinating new work where innovation was not being just coming out from research labs in a corporate setting, but to innovate, the communities were playing a larger role. So we had to reach to multiple entities, people who were spread out, and how we could just bring them together and do some meaningful work from the university and industry. So those years were defining years. We worked with some of the finest minds in the world who were specialists in these areas, brought them to India and built that community. And then again, it was again back to academics for some years, driving institutional leadership, working with industry, getting international recognition, and then Microsoft opportunity came up. So I've been with Microsoft now for 3 years, 3.5 years, and the work involves contributing to education from a larger landscape. So it's about working with teachers, with leaders in universities and schools, and students to drive and build 21st century skills. So the work today involves creating programs or contributing to capacity building efforts so that 21st century skills can be instituted, new research projects can be championed, and building employability skills. So when I took over from a very small community, today we have a rich community of schools across India, which hail not only from the private institutions, but our government schools across multiple states. So in a year, we reach to about 100,000 teachers whose capacity gets built. And even if every teacher influences 100 students, the scaling effect is huge. So there are about 1 million+ students who get impacted by the work that is done here. So So in my journey, I have certain insights to share that all along, it is a journey of learning and self-discovery. So we might have very different kind of ambitions, but when we actually go through multiple experiences and study in higher education or in our work life, we tend to rediscover ourselves. And one common thread all along is passion to contribute, and there should be a passion to excel. So no matter whatever area one is, so there was no barrier for me that I had leanings towards academics and I would never work on the other side. So there was a very smooth movement. I never felt the difference. Even while I was teaching, I made effort so that I could reach out to industry, closely work with them. Even if I had no corporate experience in my early years, I made it up by reading, by connecting with people, so that every day there is value that I am driving on board. And other lesson is never ever get disappointed in life. So if one door closes, there are several others which get opened. So we have to receive life with all the beautiful opportunities it creates for us. We need to enjoy life. We need to find our source of happiness and identify what we are passionate about. And if we discover ourselves and continuously learn throughout our path, I think sky is the limit. There's never a regret. You must never regret the years of hard work. At that point of time, one might feel, this is not related to what I want to do. Why am I doing this? Why I should be doing that? But every single experience teaches you in life and contributes to your long-term success. So looking back with 13 books and 150 papers and contribution to the larger landscape, I think I've tried to live my life every single day. And I would like to share a quote which says that, you've not lived your life. You've not lived your life if on a daily basis you've not made a contribution to someone's life who can never pay you back for that. And I think it's about selflessness, it's about giving, and it's about creating an impact in people's life. Thank you.